You're listening to the Secure Dad Podcast. Discover ways to secure your home, protect your family, and embrace your role as a protector parent. Welcome, friend. I'm Andy Murphy, the creator of the Secure Dad. This podcast serves to help families become proactive in their safety. The information I share on this podcast is for general information purposes only. My goal is to empower you to make safer decisions for yourself and your family. Today we're talking about how we can survive severe weather. We'll talk about what we can do today in clear skies to help our family when they need it the most. Plus, I'm going to tell you how to get my disaster preparedness checklist for free. All of that and more ahead on the Secure Dad Podcast. So before we get started, let me tell you how happy I am with the feedback and the sales that I've gotten from my family home security assessment. I've really been pleased with what people have been telling me, and it's good to know that it's being used. If you don't know, this is my 12-page checklist that's going to share with you more than 100 simple ways that you can secure your home and your property. And you can download your copy today at the Secure Dad store for only like $6. So for less than the cost of a fancy coffee, you can take actionable steps to protect your home and family. Now, I've been working on this for a long time, so you know that it's thorough. You, protector parents, have been asking me for this, and I'm happy that people are using it. And best of all, this checklist will be useful this week, next year, and beyond. So download your copy of my Family Home Security Assessment by tapping the link in today's show notes. You can download it right from your phone. Oh, and also, before we get going, you still have the opportunity to use your 15% discount at the Secure Dad store and on my online course. This will be good until the 31st. So you can get right now 15% off of my online course, Unlocked Releasing Your Inner Protector Parent, when you use the code 100K. That's the number 100 and a capital K all together. And just to remind you, I'm doing this because I'm so happy that the Secure Dad podcast eclipsed 100,000 downloads. As a matter of fact, we're already to like a 102,000 downloads by now. So I just mentioned to you my Family Home Security Assessment. Well, that's available at the Secure Dad store, so you can get 15% off of that right now when you use the code 100K at the store as well. Again, I'm just expressing to you my appreciation for all of your support, and you can use both of those discount codes when you want to between now and the 31st. I don't know about you, friend. I don't like tornadoes, hurricanes, or really any other terrible weather event you can think of. I am not a storm chaser. I'm not going to be driving around Oklahoma trying to catch tornadoes. That's not my idea of a good time. However, I do enjoy a good thunderstorm from time to time. In fact, on my last vacation, we actually rented a house at the beach and watched what would become a tropical storm develop right out in front of us. And the storm got wild. We actually spotted 2 beach lightning strikes within like 200 meters of the porch where we were. And it was a great reminder that no matter how developed our society is, the weather can knock us down a few pegs. Surviving severe weather conditions starts with knowing that a storm is coming. This is 2022. We can get alerts on TV, radio, and even on our smartphones. There's no excuse not knowing that a severe weather event is going to be in your area. I stay informed by using the weather app on my iPhone, plus the weather app from my local TV station. I use the local TV station app to view the radar and track where storms are coming from, where they're popping up, things like that. But the best alerts that I have been getting actually come from Twitter. Now, I follow my local National Weather Service on Twitter. So there's the main National Weather Service handle that you can follow that, but that's going to give you kind of a broad view of what's happening in the United States. But you can actually find your region. So follow your region on Twitter. I also suggest that you receive notifications from their tweets, meaning that it's going to pop up, on your phone when you're not on Twitter. Now, they're great about posting about what to expect for the day and all that kind of stuff, and they also post about when there's a special weather statement. Now, having the weather alert set up on your phone is great, but it can also be limiting because it may only be looking for the county that you're in or within just a few mile radius of where you are. I found the tweets from my local National Weather Service to be helpful because they post about alerts that are happening for my area. Now, this way I can be alerted to developing weather situation from a few counties away, and I use this information to get a better feel on what's going on so I can plan accordingly. And speaking of weather alerts, let's talk about the difference between a watch and a warning. This one gets confusing. It gets confusing for me too, so let's all learn this one together. A watch means that conditions are favorable for an event like a tornado. If there's a tornado watch, that means that one could occur and we need to stay aware. A warning means the event is imminent and we need to take action. A tornado warning means that one is going to happen or there is one already that has been spotted. We need to take cover during a warning, and this brings me to my next point. Inside our home, we need to make a safe shelter spot for our family. A safe shelter is a location where our family can gather in the event of a tornado or other severe event. The safe shelter needs to be as close to the ground as possible. If there's a basement or a storm shelter, that's your best place to go. And if that's not an option, then we need to go to the first floor. Now, that may not be possible for you in an apartment, but I'm going to give you some more tips. Our shelter needs to be close to the center of the home as possible. We need to put as many barriers, as many walls between us and the storm as we can. This may be a closet, a pantry, or even a hallway if you can close all the doors. Avoid rooms with windows and skylights as they can shatter. In this room, we need to keep supplies stored at all times. In the event of a severe weather warning, we may not have time to gather our family and go get our supplies. So let's save ourselves some steps and have the supplies in the room and focus on getting our family and pets in that shelter area, because that's going to be trouble enough as it is. The essential items that we need in our shelter are food, water, necessary medications, flashlights, a power bank for charging devices, and a weather radio. Also, we need to bring our kids in on this, so let them pack a deck of like Uno cards or something like that in the box so they can be involved. Plus, if they have a game to distract them during any sort of an emergency, that's a bonus. For more ideas on emergency supplies, download my free disaster preparedness checklist. Download your copy at the link in today's show notes. So now we have the basics for what we need to do to be ready for inclement weather. This is a great start. But now we need to plan for what we've been prepping for. When it comes to sheltering in place during a storm, every member of the family needs to know the plan. So here's my outline of what you need to do, but I want you to customize it to your family's needs. Customize it to your home, the ages of your family members, and where they could be in the house. So this is just an outline for you. You really need to make it specific for your family. So to start things off, as we've already discussed, we need to be aware of what's happening weather-wise in our area. Now let's take this a step further and let's find out if we live in a floodplain. Flooding is dangerous, and even mild storms can cause a ton of damage due to unexpected flooding, so you need to check to see if your home is in a floodplain. Second, make the decision to evacuate for large storms like hurricanes if you feel that it's necessary. Do not wait until the last minute when the government tells you to get out. Go early so traffic will be better and gas stations will have more in the tanks. You don't want to be one of the ones that gets out the same time several thousand other people are being forced to evacuate. You need to get out earlier if that's what you need to do. Third, once you know that there is a warning or that a strong storm is imminent, move everybody to that shelter and monitor the situation from your weather radio or any data-connected devices that you have. Don't hesitate to get into that shelter. Don't make it a scary place for your kids. Run drills so they know exactly where to go and where to be. Designate one person to be the communications lead. That way, the battery levels on the other devices can stay charged if help is needed. That one person is in charge of finding out information and telling everybody else. That way you don't bicker about what you found at source A and they found at source B and all of that. One person checks the weather, one person reports to the group, and you make a decision from there. Fourth, wait out the storm. I have spent more fearful moments of my life than I want to admit in storm shelters. Keep everybody calm and talk during the storm. Do your best to keep yourself calm too. You don't want people to panic. You don't want the situation to escalate. Keep your family calm because this is when they need you the most. 5. Once you know that everything is safe, send one person out to assess the situation and report back the damage. If anybody needs help or medical attention, contact first responders and see to that person first. Just because the storm is over doesn't mean that the danger is over too. Look out for live wires and broken gas lines. This can lead to fires or even worse, explosions, so use caution when moving around after a storm. And if there's any damage, take plenty of photos to help with insurance for your claims for your home, your property, and your vehicles. Do everything that you can to try to contact your insurance company within that first 24 hours to start the claim process. As we wrap up, let's talk about storm damage. We can't predict the kind of damage that a storm will cause. Even if we think it's a small storm, it may cause big damage. It just kind of depends on what happens. But there are some steps that we can take to minimize damage to our house. First, take down any dead or dying trees on the property. Don't leave it to chance that a decaying tree is going to make it through hurricane season. Go ahead and take that sucker down. Likewise, remove any limbs that look like they could fall or come off and hit the house. You know me, I am a big supporter of having a storm door. Not only do they add an extra layer of protection for home security, but they also will, protect your door from a storm. Funny to use it the way it's actually intended to. So I absolutely suggest that you get one of those put on. Now we have a better idea of how we can keep our family safe in severe weather. I hope you don't have to use any of these tips, but now you know them. Take the time today to plan together and gather those materials and identify your shelter location. Don't put this off. A few minutes today will save you a lot of stress when the sky darkens. Well, that's all that I have for the Secure Dad podcast for today. Thank you, friend, for being a part of the show. Download my free disaster preparedness checklist. You can get it today at the link in the show notes. And don't forget to use your discount code 100K for 15% off my online course, Unlocked. You can use the same code at the Secure Dad store for 15% off your purchase on Protect Your Parent gear. That includes my family home security assessment. Now, my course is hosted on Teachable, and my store is on Teespring, so you can use that same code on both sites for even more savings. I'm Andy Murphy, and until next time, take care and be ready today for the storm tomorrow.